change your heart, change your life, change the planet.
Somebody's coming to see me. Good morning, Wolfie. Coming in to say hi?
They've done a tally. I love the glow on the silver birches this time of day. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Woodford, Vermont. You can tell my mouth is a little frozen. It's 2 below zero in Bennington. Well, it was when I left, and it's always at least 10 degrees colder up here. And it's later in the day, the sun is going down, so it's probably 15 below zero Fahrenheit. But I've got 4 technical shirts on, 2 thin running jackets, and then the jacket that you see me wearing here. So 4 tech shirts, 3 jackets, a pair of shorts, 2 pair of thin, 1 pair of tights, 1 pair of thin running pants, and then a pair of waterproof running pants on top. So 1 short, 3 pants, just this hat. Again, gloveless, hands are fine. Wearing sneakers in my snowshoes with 1 pair of socks, and I'm nice and toasty out here. I've been laying in the snow, clearing trail for several hours now, and I'm not cold at all. So layer up, and if you're not sure how to do that, check my video, How to Dress for Cold Weather Running. Okay, so as I was cutting off these trees below the snow line to clear the trail, I thought of something, how this is a lot like what people do in life. I've been to snowshoe races before where someone goes through the woods cursorily and they cut the trees or branches right at the snow level, or maybe a few inches beneath the snow. And that's great. As long as it's not real powdery snow, and as long as the snow doesn't melt in between the time they cut it and the race, it's fine. But what if that snow melts? What if something happens to the snowpack, and now suddenly you've got this stake, this punji stick sticking out of the ground that someone could fall on and impale themselves on? Really, really dangerous if a race director doesn't cut the tree all the way down to ground level. Someone can fall and get hurt really badly, or trip on one and fall on another and lose an eye or whatever. It's nasty. You don't even want to think about it. So we've got, depending on where I'm at, between 12 and 18 inches of snow on the ground here. So I've got to punch down through the crust because we got several rainstorms in between snows. So there's like inch-thick solid layers of ice, and there's 3 of them. We got 3 rains. And then they froze and got some snow, and then it rained and froze and got some snow. So getting to the bottom is a serious challenge. So that's what I've been doing, like punching down to try to get to the bottom of it so that I can cut the branch. And that made me think about life and how people deal with problems and how people deal with challenges. The snow is beautiful. It's a nice, white, pristine surface. It looks gorgeous. It makes the woods look really pretty. And it covers up all the blemishes underneath. And most of the goals that people set are just like the snow. They want to cover up the blemishes. They want a layer of protection to protect them from the outside world, to protect them from the slings and arrows and criticisms that they might have received in their past or they're afraid to receive again in their future. So we put this pretty protection on. Women are taught that they have to wear makeup and pretty clothes, otherwise they're not beautiful. That's culturally ingrained in most women now. And men are taught that they need to be muscular and strong, and they need to have that veneer, that outer coating, that layer of protection in order to be perceived as masculine or strong enough or valuable or worthy of a good woman. And if you look at most of the goals that people set, losing weight, getting in shape, building more muscle, having more money, buying nicer clothes, buying a nicer car, a nicer house, It's just like the snow. It's a layer of protection. And we've got our blemishes, we've got our wounds, we've got our scars, and they're sticking up through the surface. Many of them are incredibly obvious. So what do? We cover them up and we cut them off, but just below the surface, just so you can't see it. But what happens when you get stressed? What happens when it rains in your life and your layer of protection starts to thaw? What happens then? What happens when it goes deep? Like, you can get into a relationship with someone romantically, and at first everything's great. You're having fun, they're having fun, you're telling all great stories, and you're joking and laughing and doing all kinds of great events and like creating these wonderful dates to go on. But then after a while, you start to see who you really are. That protection, that veneer starts to thaw, starts to thin, and all the stumps start showing up. And you keep tripping on each other's stumps. And when you fall, they're sharp and they cut you and they hurt, and you yell at each other and you fight. How could you do that to me? How could you hurt me like that? How could you stab me with that wound that you have that you didn't trim all the way to the bottom, that you didn't take care of before you got into this relationship? How dare you be in this relationship with baggage? And if one person isn't thawing and they still think they're perfect because they got this beautiful layer of white, pristine perfection, and you happen to thaw, and now suddenly your spikes and stumps are showing up, they're like, oh God, you're hideous, you're ugly, I don't want you. Get away from me. I want somebody perfect like me with a perfectly beautiful layer of delusion. So this is why I make the videos that I make. It's about getting to the bottom of it. It's not a veneer, it's not a quick fix, it's not, here's 30 smoothies to help you lose weight in 30 days. It's not that kind of stuff. It's not about how to improve your 5K time. Yeah, I could teach you that. I could teach you how to lose weight, I could teach you all that stuff. But I want to help you cut the problem all the way down at the root. And that involves introspection. It requires looking deep. It requires breaking through that surface, breaking through that veneer that you've created, and getting all the way down to the bottom. But it's cold in there, and you might cut your hands on the ice as you punch through. And then when you try to cut the branch, the saw is at a strange angle, and it keeps hitting ice and getting snagged, and it's hard work. So much easier to cut it right off at the surface. But that's not long-lasting, and that's not going to get you where you want to be in life. All right? So I know a lot of you are afraid of the depth that I dive in many of these videos, but I do this because it's the only thing that's kept me going. It's the only thing that keeps me in action and keeps me experiencing joy every day. Even when I do get depressed, I still have joy every day because I get down to the bottom of it. I deal with it, I nurture it, I love it, I tell it it's okay. And then I'm good, and I don't need that layer of protection because I got down to the bottom of it, at the root, and dealt with it. All right, I'm going to go cut one more, and then I'm heading down. So step one, I got to break the ice and snow, and then pull it away. Sometimes easier with the butt of the saw. And again, you might think I'm crazy doing this without gloves, but when you're properly layered, there's plenty of blood going into the extremities. So my hands are not cold doing this. Oh, but they are bleeding. Look at that. So, saw, lay down in there like that. And voila. Hope that's of value to you. And as you make your way through the forest of your life, remember, don't be afraid to layer up and get deep. See ya.